We'll start this afternoon's meeting with prayer. Mike, would you?
Most kind, gracious Heavenly Father, as we humbly come before Thee as a governmental body, we ask that Thy blessings be upon those that are in positions of leadership, that Thou will guide them and direct them and inspire them to make the right decisions that deal with the affairs and concerns of the citizens of Fayette County. We ask for the blessings to be upon our leadership at the national level too, that they can learn to work together and to resolve their differences and do what's best for our country. Heavenly Father, we're thankful for all that we've been given, for our health, our strength, for our loved ones. We ask Thou watch over them, keep them safe, free from harm's way, and those that are serving abroad to protect the freedoms of our country, to watch over, protect them, and to bless their families that have allowed them to sacrifice on our behalf. And Heavenly Father, we're thankful for our first responders, and we ask Thy blessings to attend them and watch over them and keep them safe and free from harm's way. And these things we do humbly pray and ask for in the name of Thy beloved Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
We'll call this meeting the Fayette County Commissioners to order. Please rise to the flag. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome everyone, and please I ask that you silence your phones for the meeting. We'll get started this morning with Judge Freed. You have a 144 for us?
Yeah, thank you. I think as I indicated to the body last time I was here, my drug court coordinator, Mr. Rader, who's just done a fantastic job, did put in his notice some time ago, and he is leaving us for a lot more money. That's a speech that I've gotten from a lot of employees over the years, but in any event, I do want to thank him on the way out. The performance on drug court so far has been exceeds expectations in all regards. I'm incredibly pleased with the way he has got the program off the ground, and the county and the citizens thereof owe him a debt. So if you see him out and about in town, Mr. Rader, please thank him, and we wish him well going forward in his new job. And I have found a replacement. It's a one-man department, so it's rather critical when someone quits that they be replaced immediately. Immediately. And so it was quite a hullabaloo. I was doing interviews in betwixt and between court hearings and everything, and I had a pretty good response, and found a gentleman that we like. His name is Brandon Burgess. He is raised here in Connersville and went to college here. In fact, years ago when I worked in the prosecutor's office, I was an adjunct professor at Indiana University East, and I had the pleasure of having him as a student in 2 different classes, and he was an excellent student, and I recalled that. So that's a good starting point, because I know he's a bright fellow and a hard worker. He left right after college to go to Colorado. He and his wife, also from the area, and was working for the El Paso County, Colorado Sheriff's Department for many years. That's Colorado Springs, for those of you who don't know. And they have 2 young children and have decided to move back home because they've decided they'd like the kids to be around the grandparents who are here, and both sets of grandparents are still living here in the area. So we're glad to have him. He has a lot of experience, and I'm sure that he will do well. We have high hopes for him. He's got an adjustment period to make. Moving from a pure law enforcement background to a drug court coordinator it's a larger jump than you might think. Drug court has a lot of social work type aspects to it. It's not strictly a law enforcement type activity. So keep him in your prayers, and meet him when you can and encourage him. He's got a very difficult job to do, but I wish you would approve his hiring for the new drug court coordinator position to begin Monday next.
I'll move to approve the 144 for Brandon Burgess.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made and seconded to approve the 144 request. Any other questions for the judge or statements? All in favor?
Aye.
3 ayes.
Very well, thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
I'll go back up a little bit.
I'll move to approve the minutes of the last meeting.
Yeah.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve the minutes of the previous meeting. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
3 ayes. All right. Recorder, Ruth.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
I'm here to extend an invitation. It's been over 2 years, Dale. How long have we been talking about doing this? We've been talking about purchasing a piece of equipment for our office. It's called a Bookeye scanner. And they're going to be here next Monday to do a demo. At 11 o'clock, we're going to be over here in the prosecutor's conference room. I'd like for you to be able to come if you can to get an idea of what the equipment is and what it will be able to do for us, what we can do with it. It's a large format scanner, and it allows us to take some of the old books that we can't take apart and that are very fragile. It has like a V cradle, and you can lay them down in there, and it takes pictures. It will digitize those images for us, and so we can take a lot of our old images, our old books, and put them then on. We can digitize those. I am looking at purchasing that out. It will be a 36-month lease, which includes a 3-year maintenance agreement as well. Then we can purchase it for $1 at the end of the lease. It's about a $50,000 piece of equipment, and I have the money in the Recorder's Perpetuation Fund, so we do have the money available to purchase it. But I just wanted to come before you today to let you know that we are looking at it. I did receive preliminary approval some months back, and it was just been kind of sitting. We haven't done anything with that yet, so we're ready to move on that. And it will be a demo, so we will get a discount on it. It'll be a demo model that will be available for us. So I sent out emails this morning to a few people, but anybody who's interested in coming, if you can come about 11 o'clock next Monday, the 25th. It'll be here for you to look at, and then we can ask all kinds of questions.
Thank you.
That's good news, Ruth. You have my full support.
Thank you,
on
Bill. I
buying this
appreciate it.
equipment. I know what it'll do and what it will mean to your office, and it's a good deal.
We're looking forward to it. Amanda and I were talking about it this morning, so we're excited about it.
Ruth, over this period of 2 years or so that you started talking about it, have you had a chance to look at, are there other options out there, different brands, or?
There are some similar. This particular piece of equipment is unique to this company. There are some that are similar. They're not quite as big. I don't know that they will do exactly everything that this one will and can do.
Okay. I just wondered if over time you'd been able to look at some other options.
Yeah.
Had found any other options, because this is the original, what you were originally talking about, wasn't it?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. I do think they've upgraded it a little bit since then. It's a little bit faster, and I don't think it's any different physically other than
I
it's
know you
probably
had-
just faster.
You had first brought it up right before I come on board.
Okay.
And we talked about it shortly after I come on board again. Okay. Yeah, you have my support on it, because I
Thank
think
you.
it'll be a good thing to be able to digitize all of our old records.
And also, they told me that their hope is to have a contract in hand on Monday when they come, so that I can give it to the attorney to take a look at and make sure everything appears to be in order.
All right.
All right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bill Mackey? You have a gentleman with you? as well?
Yes. First off, I need to have you all sign this. It's a recommendation for acceptance of Bridge 25. The final inspection, I have to get that back to NDOT. So if all three of y'all sign that and get it back to me, they'll, yeah, they had the final inspection. That we've got to sign that and send it back to accept Bridge 25.
Okay.
And
Do you,
after final
you need a
inspection.
motion to sign that?
Probably.
I'll move to sign the bridge inspection, is it?
I'll second.
Yeah. Motion made and seconded to sign the final inspection contract for Bridge 25. Any other questions for Bill on this? All in favor?
Aye.
3 ayes. You just have one copy with you, Bill?
Yes, well, let me see. Oh, yes, I've got another blank one. Would you like it?
So we can, so Jane can have a copy, a signed copy as well. You can have that one. We'll give this one to Bill.
And also, I'm here to see if we're interested in doing our inspections of our small structures between 4 and 20 feet. The last time they were done were in 2012. I brought a book from Lynn for each of you if you want to look through it and see what kind of information we get. That's one in your district, Waterloo, and then Jackson. We've got, every township gets their own, and then we got an overall book. But the first time it was ever done was '07, I believe, and then it was done again in '12. So it's been 7 years since it's been done, and if we don't do it here shortly, I think it's going to be another 5 years plus before we get to it, because with Bridge 90 coming up, we're going to have to, next couple of years, we're going to have some money to do this other things, where in 21 and 22, it's kind of like Bridge 25, we're going to need the money to, here for that project. So I think we've got some leeway to get it done here, and, see if you all was interested in possibly having that done again. Because otherwise, we're going to be 12, 13 years out.
Do we have costs? Yeah.
It all depends on, we've got over 414
I mean,
or
how's this
something
calculated?
structures.
How's the cost calculated on?
I'm not sure. Leo went, he did it, that is, he done those.
Okay.
He can,
Hi,
I'm Leo
Gary. Name.
Rumschlag. And I was previously with Rumschlag Technical Services. It was a company, a small company that I owned and operated on my own. I've since had to close that company, and I've joined up with Jansen & Spellman's Engineers right now. I'm primarily a bridge inspector and a culvert inspector, a small structure inspector. That's my line of business. These are simply safety inspections, that's all they are. The previous administration had decided, and I don't know, I remember, I know Mr. Strong was not here 7 years ago, but maybe one of you, were you here you're not, were you not 7 years ago?
2003 was my last year.
So in any case, these are simply safety inspections. The first time they did the safety inspections, I remember I had to call your county surveyor at that point in time and just really please, would you please close this bridge or this road? There's some serious structural problems. You currently have all of your large bridges inspected every 2 years, and that's a federal requirement. This is not a federal requirement, but it surely is a safety inspection. I typically recommend that these culverts be inspected about every 5 to 6 years apart. It's not as critical as your large bridges, but there is some importance there, and it's now been, you've been up to 7 years. So I really think that you will find that there is some of some of these culverts that probably need some attention, and if you don't have someone look at it, I just can't promise any good results with that. So I recommend that you have them inspected. I don't I don't recommend that you have them inspected every 2, even every 4 years. I really feel like that's not a good use of the county's money at that point in time. So in any case, I was personally involved in these inspections 7 years ago. I would be personally involved again. So there is some cost savings because I've seen some of the problems and I know what to look for. In terms of budget, I've not priced it yet. You're probably looking at somewhere between 50 and 100,000. That's just a guess right now. I just really have not priced it. So I just really don't know. But there are 400 left. I think that's the number we came up with. And are you interested in the company brochure?
Sure, yeah.
Sir.
Oh, thank you.
We're a medium-sized engineering company. We have offices in Indianapolis and Columbus, Indiana. We do a lot of design-build projects. We've done a lot of projects. We work on I-70. We did a number of projects in the Texas area. We did a lot of design-build. Some of our projects are actually in the billion-dollar range. So we do have extensive experience with structure analysis and safety reasons. There is we have a reputation around the country for, in a very small niche, we do a lot of forensic engineering. There was a pedestrian bridge that collapsed, I think it was 6 months ago in Florida, and one of our engineers was called to do some forensic engineering to determine the cause for the collapse. And that's about all I can say on that because there's lawsuits involved, and I try to stay out of the picture whenever there's attorneys involved. But I like attorneys too. So that's where we are. I recommend about every 5 or 6 years you have your small structures inspected. You're up to 7 years. I mean, it's up to you. There's no solid requirement that I can name that says you have to do it. But the county has found some use in these reports in the past.
You estimate a county-wide inspection would cost, did you say 100,000?
I said 50 to 100.
50 to 100.
Like I said, I've not priced it.
We don't have that much money in our contractual services line.
It would have to come from the bridge fund.
Yeah, and not a whole lot of money goes in the bridge fund every year.
Either that or we could
About $270 a year goes in.
possibly use excess real tax. Sometimes that we don't need downtown, that we can spare, but
This 2012 report, Bill, that was the last time this was done.
And like I said, it'll be probably another 5 years before we'll be able to have enough to do it again, probably after Bridge 90's built.
Bridge 90 could very well be $1 million project.
Probably somewhere in that vicinity.
1 to 1.2.
In our, it'll be 300,000 obligation for our 20%,
Yeah,
plus in preliminary engineering, all that.
which is all up front.
Only
And then we
construction. The others, they'll bill us and we'll get reimbursements. The only thing up front will be construction, the engineering and everything. Just like now, I've already got a couple of small invoices on 90 for some part of the surveying, part of the environmentals. But actually, I figured, next year, out of the bridge fund, the actual obligations of the county on the county-wide bridge inspection would be about $6,200, and the engineering for Bridge 90 between $15,000 and $20,000. So you've got about $26,000 definite obligations out there to finish up this county-wide bridge inspection and the engineering for Bridge 90 next year, and the next year won't be much more because it'll take them a couple of years to get all this ready. So, you don't have a lot of obligations out there, and with the reimbursements I've got in and everything, we'll be okay, I think. It's up to you all.
But this is something that would, at those kind of numbers, we'd have to bid.
Would we? I'm not sure what
I'm
the,
pretty sure we will, won't we, Jay?
what State Board of Accounts required.
Isn't it 50 and above has to be bid?
I'm not sure. Diana said something about 150.
I'm sorry?
The last time we were talking about something for, when Diana was here, she said it's 150.
Okay, well, maybe it has
When we were doing the
changed.
body scanner. So,
We can bid no matter
Yeah.
how low the amount is.
Or at least ask for quotes
Yeah.
to make it.
I don't care if we're gonna do that.
Jay,
Did it?
you were, since, you were down there in 12, wasn't you? Or,
Yeah.
in that ballpark of the area. How often do you utilize this? Did you?
Not as often as you'd think, but we do look through them every now and then, check things on what bridges need attention.
I mean, do you replace, have you been replacing cans by this schedule?
Well, we usually we replace them by going out and inspecting them more than anything else. Because we can tell when a can's starting to get bad, because usually there's telltale signs.
I know during Richard's tenure, that was more or less the practice. If one caved in, then we started replacing it, or started looking at it to be replaced. So I really didn't know how much we had been using this schedule. I mean, I guess I'm of the opinion that I think it's a great tool to have if we use it, but if it just gets put on the shelf, then it's not money very well spent.
Well, yes, but not all of them are cans. Some of them are actually small bridges, steel beam bridges.
Anything under the 20
Yeah,
20
there's a
foot.
lot of them that are under 20 foot that are simply not cans.
Yeah.
So, and the previous administration wanted to go down to, all the way down to 3 foot in there. And then a lot of those are cans at that point in time.
Yes, yeah. So these are only down to 3 foot?
Yes,
Th-
yes.
This
Well,
report?
that was the previous,
Right.
cutoff. There was.
But that number is 400 and some.
But that number is 411.
And that's only down to 3.
If you're looking for a different size, you could always do inspection from 5 foot up to 20 foot, or 6 foot up to 20 foot. Now that probably cuts the work in half, but then you're left with all the cans are not inspected at that point. And that inspection falls on somebody else. So there's a lot of different ways to get the work done, depending on what the budget is.
What's our wishes here? Do you want to research it a little more?
I certainly would. To tell you the truth, Leo, this wasn't on my radar screen this morning.
I understand.
I'd like to take your proposal under advisement
Okay.
and study it a little bit. And you may or may not be what we need right now. I don't know.
Well, maybe I could, I can negotiate with Bill and we'll come up with a number,
Yeah.
both fee and size range. And maybe it's 3 foot to 20 foot, maybe it's 4 to 20, maybe it's 10 foot to 20 foot. And there's a cost associated with all of that.
Okay, all right. That would certainly help us.
Bill, does that
With
make
our
sense to
budget.
you?
Yes.
I'll move we table this proposal until further
Information.
information is available and study it a little bit.
Motion made and seconded to table this till further notice. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
3 ayes. You want that back?
I've got your brochure here, Leo. Did you want these back?
No, you may have those.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
One question that I might ask now, is that digitized or is it in book form only, the last report?
I can do it either way.
But is the last report, the 12, is it digitized?
I don't recall, it probably was.
Okay.
But I don't know where it is.
I don't know if we'd have, yeah.
You weren't there then.
So, okay, all right.
And I've got one more thing. Last summer, Lauren and I went down to southern Indiana and watched a company, a sealed deck. There's a new deck sealing process. Here's a little information. And it's a polymer type seal, and they put aggregate in it. It's a deck seal. And they were wanting to know if we'd be interested in doing any of these on our bridges. You know, we've got a lot of concrete bridges that are patched and patched again, and this would, they would probably come up, they would be able to give us a price. They would do all the patching, the concrete patching themselves, because if some counties try to do it, then there's no guarantee. If they do it, there's a guarantee, you know. So they do some of the patching and then the seal, and I'd probably would have to pick out a couple bridges if you're interested and have them come up and give a price. They would like to do, because they're getting so busy now, because this is so popular, that they would like to do some of the pricing in the spring here before they get all their schedules set, in case we're interested in doing some of these decks that you can't really afford to replace. I mean, out on 300 Waterloo, those are $300,000 decks to replace, and lifespan of it, they were saying the state of Michigan's been doing it for 20 years or plus 20 years, and they're getting 20 years out of theirs up there, and that's state highways. So if you can put them on some of our county roads, they may last 20, 25 years, where you don't have to put a new deck on it. I mean, it seals it. They put the polymer down, some aggregate, it's a one-day process for the seal. Now, patching 2 to 3 days, whatever it takes to do that, but the bridge would be closed less than a week to get all this done. And so I didn't know if we'd be interested in, and you can see all the counties are starting in NDOT. I mean, it's not only the wear surface, it's, seals it. At the bottom there, you can see who all they've just done work for in the last year. It's a small company out of Osgood, Indiana. And, if we're interested in trying to pick out a couple bridges, or maybe 3, one in each district, and get pricing and see if we're interested in doing something like this, because it sounds like it's a way to make our decks last a lot longer and their pricing, I don't have any 19 pricing, is basically on square yard footage for the top, and then for the deck, and it all depend on how much patching will be the extra. But they'd have to come look at it. One of their guys comes and he'll give estimates on how much it would cost to do each bridge.
Did you have any deck repair scheduled for this year?
No, but that's right there on 300, could sure use it.
Yeah. In fact, that's one we had written down, on 300 North, Bridge 24.
I think it's 20.
That was one we thought possibly would be a good candidate, and we didn't know if you'd want to try to pick out 3, one each district, or pick one and see how it works and go from there.
Bill, are they saying this is something that we could even put on a good deck and make it last that much longer?
Oh yeah, NDOT, they have them put on brand new.
Well, that's what I was wondering.
Yes, both, either way, brand new or.
But there's no milling.
No.
They don't mill it.
No, they'll just take out all the bad spots, fix all the bad spots, and seal. Put the polymer and the stone, 2 coats. Or you can do 1 coat, but 2's probably better. And it's a special aggregate that's really, and they got 2 sizes, a smaller and a bigger.
Okay.
But they're getting pretty popular with it. And I didn't know if we wanted to try to get in. And it's just a really fairly small company, and if you want to become a customer before they,
What's the pleasure? Do we want to look into it further? Maybe at least have some estimates made on a couple of 3 bridges, or?
It wouldn't hurt if it extends a lot bit.
If we had a bridge that was already scheduled for deck repair this year, that would make it more convenient.
So you don't need an engineer or anything. I mean, if you like those bridges out Waterloo and 300, we had to have them engineered and everything. You're talking major costs before all that deck was replaced.
Yeah.
I mean, this doesn't need that.
Yeah, it's just basically come in and,
He's gonna come in, do the sounding, which is basically a process to figure out all the bad, weak spots, fix those.
Do they give an estimate of what it costs per bridge?
He will, yeah, I'm sure he will, because he'll have to come up, check it himself, he'll have to see how much he's gotta replace, and then the square footage.
I guess
Yeah.
I would be interested in at least taking it as far as getting some estimates.
Yeah, but I don't think that'd be a problem. They just like to do that here before weather, because when weather breaks, they're out.
gone. Yeah.
Because they are,
Between him and Jay, they ought to be able to find one bridge that
Oh, I think
within
there's,
reasonable time, needing some repair and get an estimate on it. I don't care where it is.
Okay.
It doesn't matter to me whether it's in my district or
Use it
not.
as a test bridge, you know?
well, do you want to try the one on 300 since the other two are 25 and the other one was done? That way you got, see what,
Jay, you,
Can you call him and ask him for work on a box culvert?
okay.
Because I've got that one on Wilson Creek needs top on it.
No, I'm sure it'll hit anything, any concrete.
I
There's no
don't think
reason.
it'll work on the
That'd be a good
driveway
project.
because water's hard on that stuff. But
Oh,
you might ask him if it'll work on the driveway.
okay.
We can take the rest of that cement off that driveway.
And do it. I mean, the whole polymer, it's only going to be about that thick. It's not
Well,
like
that's
it's a
usually Your
major.
approaches,
Mhm.
hit your bridge.
Yeah, I can,
maybe look
see.
at that as well and.
yeah, I can do that.
But I know 300, if we don't do something with it, we're gonna be grinding and milling it and resurfacing it
Okay.
if we don't do something soon on it.
Okay. And I'm sure if it's beyond what they're capable of, they would let you know, but,
I mean, don't you agree with me, Bill?
Yeah.
It's not gonna be long on it if we don't do something with it.
so I could at least, I'll get a hold of them, have them come check that out, give us a price.
Yeah.
And then check on the dry
Just
board.
to
and
see how
the box culvert.
ridiculously priced it is. You know, if
I think we'll be surprised.
if we, I don't have any idea whether you're talking about 25,000 or $225,000,
Exactly. So, yeah, I'll take care of that and see if we can have something next month or so.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Great. Thanks, Bill.
Yep, you're welcome.
Jay, do you have something else for us with highway? Okay. Michael King? All right. And Bill Grove?
Yep.
I think you have something, don't you?
Did you get the bid I put in your box on the, can't even think.
Coils?
Coils, heating coils to jail. Yeah, I've got 2 out. They froze and busted during this last bad cold spell we had. The reason they froze and busted was the old pneumatic system didn't get the dampers closed.
Okay.
So computer tells me they're closed, and the only way you had to crawl up inside there to see if they're closed or not. So I wouldn't have no idea. They froze and busted.
So has that since been fixed?
I'm sorry?
Has that
Yes.
since been
yes,
fixed?
Yeah.
That part of it?
Yeah, that part of it. But we still got to replace the coils themselves. They're like radiators. They're pretty good size.
And these are used for heating and cooling, or?
Yes, both.
Both.
Heating and cooling. And there's a 4-week leeway if we just wait on them to get them, because they gotta make them to fit this old system. They don't have it. I mean, you can't just go buy them.
How are we compensating right now for those? lack
What
of-
I'm doing right now is I'm leaving the dampers open in the basement, and that's getting us by. But if it would drop below 0 and stay there, that wouldn't get us by.
Okay.
So, and actually, it's just one block in the booking area. So I can pretty much control it right now. And I can control it below 30. If it gets below 0, then we're in trouble.
Do you feel comfortable with this bid?
Yes, I do.
No need to look somewhere else?
I don't think so, because,
And we are under contract with Johnson's
yes,
anyway. to
and
do our
I
work.
they have to make these, have them made and brought in and put them in themselves. So if you guys wanted to come down, I could show you how they take them out and put them in. And it's complicated. They tried to fix them. They tried to fix them inside the unit. They brought torches in and tried to fix them, but they were just blowing too bad.
Okay.
And I've got pictures that show the hole.
What's the pleasure of the board?
Now, this price, is this for 2 coils? or one?
This is both coils. The 5,469 is the both coils, but that's a 4-week leeway. And the pricing down below would be the 10-day quick shipping charge or 10-day quick ship with a $408 more on it. And then it just goes on down, 5 days, 3 days.
I'll move to approve the purchase for the new heating coils for $5,469, and that's plus that.
However you want to do it. If you want to do, you want to do a 10-day or you want to do the 4-week, however you want to do it.
Plus the 10-day, $408 charge for the shipping.
I'll second the motion. On the condition, Bill, you don't bring us back any more bad news about that system.
I can't guarantee that one. I'm sorry. I'll try to avoid you in the hallway, I promise.
I want to run every time I see you.
I know it. I'm gonna start going backwards when I see you.
Okay.
Motion made, and seconded that we approve the proposal of Johnson Controls for the heating coils. Is there any other questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
3 ayes.
I tell you, if Willis ever go out of business, they'd have to go out of business too, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Or you want me to sign? Here?
Yeah.
Over here, on this side.
Jane, I'll get this back to you. I'm just gonna fax it to him, or email it to him, and then I'll turn it back over to you.
Okay, thank you.
Whatever else you want to.
We only have one other thing going on. A softener had quit. We got it, it's repaired. We knew softener's in, but we've got some problem with the line build up in a couple of commodes at the jail. So what we're doing is we're pumping chemical into them. See if we can get it broke loose. We're doing that right now. That's what I've been doing today. So hopefully we can break those 2 up and we'll be okay. We've only got 2 doing it. So the other ones are, the softener's working now and everything's coming back the way it should. Okay, that's all I have.
The compressor's been installed?
Compressor's installed, everything's working there, everything's good.
The portable one we purchased
It's in
it'll
the
stay in
basement, it's in the basement. I'll use it to do my filters and stuff with down there.
Or as a backup if
Or as a backup if we need it. I can quick connect it.
the
if I have
plumbing's
to.
there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any other questions for Bill at this time? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Got the resolution down here. Any other? Dave, did you have anything for us today?
I don't know if I was on the list or not, but I showed up today.
Okay. If, we'll move on if you don't have anything.
I
but-
do have something.
Okay.
I got a hold of a person about chipping, so we can chip dogs and the animals up there. We can get them for $7.99 a piece. They come in a box of 25, would be $199.75. But to use their database that we load it up and have it all done, it would run $360 a year for that database there. But I found something else out today, but I haven't got all the information yet for you either. But this one here is a pretty good one that we can have it right then and there if we chip them and whenever we chip. And that way we have it right there on our database there for if we get a dog, then we can find out the owner real quick and everything. You know,
But this is for the dogs that are adopted,
yes,
if you adopt them out?
yeah. And, you know, that's what it looks like right there. And then the chips in there, then we put it underneath the skin, and then the chip reader will read it, and we can come up with the name real quick on that part to try to help out with, get the animals quicker.
Do all these animals go to Kefapers before they're adopted?
No,
Okay.
no. No, the way we adopt them out is they come up, they pay for their pay for adoption fee. We give it, see, Stemper and Parvo shot up there. Then they take it over to Keep It opposed to, or Animal Care Alliance, either one, and take the receipt with them that we give them to get the rabies shot.
Okay. But the spade or neuter?
I'm trying to get back into with animal care, and I talked to Henry County. They're going to match up with animal care so we can start getting them back in there. Animal care lost their vets for a while, and now they got some vets back, but yet they're about 2-3 months behind, backwater on that, you know. So I'm trying to get stuff up again on that, and like I said, Henry County Animal Shelter, Animal Control over there has got their own vet and their own shop there, and they'll match the prices of animal care for us, and we can start with them any time that we want now. And we talked about some training, and I talked to her a little bit about it over there. Her name's Linda, and she is certified to train us too, you know, for a little fee. She can come over here and train us, or we can go over there, you know. But you know, it's a close place and everything. And, you know, for training, that'd be a good one for us. I was over there today and checked it all out. And
So you're going to do some more investigating on this?
yes, yes, because she gave me a place to check on some more of this chipping and stuff. And she said it might be cheaper for us. I want to make sure what it is first before we decide to do which one or anything like that. You know, I like to try to get them going so we can try to get the animals, you know, found or to find the owners and get them back as soon as possible. You know, right now, you know, this here is it's a one-time. This one here is a one-time in pay, and it's lifetime chipped. So it would be all time, unless they get rid of the pet and they forget to change it or something, you know. But we can try to get it back as soon as possible and everything.
Do you need our approval on the purchase of those?
Well, it's you know, I just like to. I don't need your approval. I like to have your blessings, more or less. You know.
To keep working on it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And, you know, like the $360 a year for keeping their database up for us to use, you know, that's.
Now, the chip scanners that you were talking about looking at getting,
We already got them.
you already got them?
Yes.
Will they read this
Yes.
chip as well as any other chip?
Yes, they will.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, they'll read any chip now.
And I mean, I'm assuming the goal is we want to get as many animals chipped as
Yes.
chipped
Right.
as possible, and any of them that we send out for adoption will at least have,
Have at least a chip that we know that's
Yeah.
in there.
and that cost can be passed on through the
Yes.
adoption fees, correct?
Right, correct. Yeah, if we can get them for that price, we can charge at least probably 10 to 15, 20 bucks on them, you know. You know, it's all.
And that would
depends how
help
they-
cover the
Yes, the cost.
yearly cost as well.
Right. And we can always cover that.
So right now you've got two options.
I'm doing a little bit more investigation on the other option, because I just found that out today. 'Cause make sure if it's a lifetime or not, I want to make sure of that, like this one here is. But I know she said it was a cheaper one, you know, cost-wise, but yet I want to make sure if we can still paddle to this for a lifetime you know, lifetime chip scan for them. You know, and that way we can we won't have to worry about the animal, not getting, the owner not getting their thing paid for the year. That way, this one here, it is. But I want to make sure the other one, see what it is too, or not.
I think, I guess it's my opinion that we go ahead and have Dave continue to look into it.
Well, he was asked to pursue this. I'm not going to beat him up for doing it.
No. I would,
I do like the idea of us holding our own database, though, rather than have to pay someone else to hold it for us.
yeah.
But I want to find all that out on this other one too, make sure
Yeah.
what it is, what we can do with it and everything.
But we say keep going for it then.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. And I am, like I said, I am working with, talking with Henry County and trying to see what, like I said, with the spay and neutering, so we can get back up on going again with them and be the same thing as animal care. But animal care, like I said, is about 2 months behind
Okay.
and everything.
All right. Thank you, Dave.
All right, thank you.
Ann, do you have anything for us today?
No.
Okay. Mike, with council?
Good afternoon. Wanted to tell you my appreciation working together on getting this appointment committee going in the right direction. Working together on that. I wanted to ask one question. Seems since Dale has left the council, everybody calls me now. He must have got a lot of calls when you're on the council. But something has to do with what Dave was just talking about. I know that they're kind of handcuffed as to what they can do. I don't think that they get the full respect that they deserve in trying to fulfill their duties, responsibilities as the animal control. I think you'd probably agree with that. And I know there was some discussion at one point about the sheriff possibly overseeing that. I've talked with Joey on that, and he said that he would be interested in doing that, provided it was set up the way that he would want it set up, which I would agree. I mean, it's his area of expertise. I guess my question is, has there been any further discussion on that to help them and help animal control as a whole?
I know
There's
Dave
a lot
and
of things you're working on, I know.
Dave and I have talked some on it, and I've talked with Joey some on it, and that's about as far as I've gotten with it, Mike.
And it gets brought to the forefront when you hear some of the problems that they're dealing with. And I think there's citizens in the community that are sympathetic to what they're trying to do. And then there's others that aren't quite so sympathetic, aren't cooperating with them and allowing them to do their job.
Yeah.
I heard of a story where they were trying to help with somebody that didn't have a dog house for their pet, and they did the right thing. And I appreciate what Dave and Mike tried to do, bring a dog house, and all they got is harassed. And there was no support for them on the backside, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see them get that support, because most of us, our pets are like extended members of our family. So otherwise, that's all I had.
Okay. Thank you.
Hey, Gary, I forgot to tell you, we did get we did get a tranquilizer again.
Okay.
I just gotta get the needles ordered and get it over to Dr. Keeper and get the medicine
Okay.
not lined up and everything.
All right, good. Sounds like we're moving forward on
Yeah,
some of the equipment then.
And I am trying to, on the net gun stuff too, trying to get everything going on that.
Okay, great, thank you. Old business, we have the resolution that Dan was talking about last meeting, Parker, on the broadband ready community resolution. Has everybody seen a copy of it?
Yeah.
Are we prepared to adopt that resolution today?
Yeah, I'll move to accept the resolution. Now, do you have a number for it?
19R1.
19R1? I move to accept resolution 19R1.
I'll second the motion.
Been a motion made and seconded that we adopt resolution 19R1 pertaining to the broadband ready community. Is there any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
3 ayes. I'll be there for signatures later. Under old business as well, I laid 2 resumes in front of you for highway director. I thought maybe we needed to either at least acknowledge that we do have 2 applications. One was sent with our first advertisement for an engineer, a licensed engineer slash highway director. The second was sent under our second advertisement that advertised it as a highway engineer option, would be optional. Preferred but not required. I wondered whether we could move forward with this and possibly at least do some interviewing or not.
I had seen one of these resumes, one I hadn't. But that brings us, a total of 3 altogether? After both?
Just two.
Okay, the first advertisement, we got 1 response.
Yeah.
I was including that.
That was this one.
No, this is the second one.
That's the second.
Yeah. This was from the second advertisement, correct, Jane?
Yeah.
It came because of the second
So our advertisement period has expired.
No, well, it's been several weeks,
Yeah.
so.
But what we need to do, call them up for an interview?
Well, if that's the pleasure of the board, if we want to move forward.
I think we need to.
I know eventually, yes, we need to start talking to people. Jay is spoiling me. He's, as long as he stays in place, I don't worry about what goes on down there, so that I know he's not going to
Yeah, but he keeps talking about his aches and pains, so we better get on the stick.
He may just quit talking about it and quit coming in.
You don't have to worry about that.
I believe we should interview him, and I'd like to have the county surveyor and Jay be in on the interviewing process.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that would be advisable.
All right. Jane and I'll try to get something set up
Okay.
and evenings work okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just call and we'll be ready.
All right. All right. We'll try to get something set up then in the coming week or so.
That is if you guys want to be on the interview.
That's fine. Sure.
All right. Is there any other old business that needs to be discussed today?
I have none.
We'll move on to new business. I don't see Carol McQueen here.
She's not here.
We have representatives from Dot Foods here.
Yes.
Good afternoon. My name is Gertrude Whitaker. I'm the Executive Director of the Fayette County Chamber of Commerce, and it's a privilege for me to be here today for the very distinct purpose of introducing one of our newest chamber members, Dot Foods Incorporated. With me today, I have General Manager Randy Templin with Dot Foods that's located in Cambridge City. And the Fayette County Chamber of Commerce, we do invite those businesses that are located outside of our county to join the chamber. It's a benefit to our community to have these businesses part of our association, and it's also a benefit to the business to have an extra work source and a work pool to have employments and opportunities for bringing employees on. Dot Food is the nation's largest food industry redistributor and supplier. They develop innovative supply chain solutions for customers in all 50 states and in 39 countries. They're family-owned and operated, and they operate from 11 distribution centers across the United States. When Dodd Foods joined the Fayette County Chamber, one of the things that I found out already last fall is with Ivy Tech, our community college. They are a local resource here in the heart of our community that I think we don't utilize enough. And Ivy Tech Community College has a wonderful program in conjunction with Dodd Food where they now offer the CLDA type classes and certifications. And I'm going to ask Randy to introduce himself, to talk a little bit about the need that Dodd Food has in terms of getting these qualified employees, and also the help spread the word. And what better place to start with our Fayette County Commissioners to let you know, to let the citizens know who watch on TV3 about this opportunity for employment and furthering their own economic development and position here in Fayette County. Randy?
Thank you. Thanks for your time today. I met Dale the other night at the chamber dinner, actually, so good to see you again, Dale. And I'm the general manager of Dodd Foods. We're in Cambridge City, Indiana. We're, like Gertrude said, we're one of 11, almost, we're going to go on 12 now, distribution centers. We're out in the DC, out in Delaware. But we're a family-owned business, been around since 1960, never had a year we didn't make money, never had a year we didn't grow, never had a layoff. And we're in the food distribution business, basically. And out of our facility, we service the Midwest. And you may be thinking, why is Dodd Foods in here? We're not going to ask for anything from you. We found that our biggest barrier to growth isn't bricks and mortar, isn't capital. We're very fortunate. It's really driver hiring. If you think about it, our average driver makes over $80,000 a year. Great jobs. When I came here, I've been with Dodd for 30 years, so a long, long time. I've been here about 6.5 years. When I came here, every advisory board meeting I was with Ivy Tech, I said, hey, we need a truck driving school in this area. The closest one to Cambridge City is Muncie, Indiana. So Ivy Tech, thankfully, started a truck driving school here in Connorsville. How many, did you know, I assume you all knew that there was a truck driving school there, but we're trying to get the word out. We also have a terminal in Indianapolis. We have about 15 drivers there. We're going to be adding about 20, 25 this year. What we found in Indianapolis, even Indianapolis, big city obviously, is that we could do all the advertising, we can do all the promotions, we can do digital marketing, but unless we get out in the communities, we really don't get people to understand what we're doing. So this is kind of my first step. My first step was to join the chamber. Gertrude and both Dan Parker have been very, very helpful. They've given me a list of different organizations to talk to. I'm the general manager, so I manage the facility. I'm not normally a recruiter, but we very, very much feel very strong about Connorsville and giving Connorsville the kind of attention that hopefully we can add to our employee base. So really the reason I'm here is to talk a little bit about Ivy Tech as well as Dodd Foods. We have a grant through the state of Indiana right now where we can provide free of charge training to get their commercial driver's license. So somebody who is wanting to make more money can get their commercial driver's license right here in Connorsville. They can actually get paid if they interview through us and we hire them. They don't have to be a driver. They can be somebody with a good quality work history. We will hire them. We will put them through driving school. We will pay them as they go to school $750 a week. And once they go through driving school, they pass their CDL. We actually train them for about 10 to 12 weeks. We pay them again $750 a week. And we have different types of jobs. We found out that about 1.5 years ago, we had to create actually last year, we created different jobs. We have a standard job that is out about 3 nights to 4 nights a week. We have different jobs. We have drivers that work 4 days on, work off, and they're off 4 days. We have drivers that work 6-3, 6 on, 3 off. So we can really kind of cater to what that driver wants. We have drivers that handle freight. We have drivers that don't handle freight. There's a lot of folks that say, getting closer to my age, that say, hey, I don't want to throw freight. Well, we have jobs for them. So this is really our first step, but we're going to do some other things as well. We're open. If you have any suggestions, I'm going to leave my card with you as well. If you have any suggestions, let me know. Anybody in the audience as well. If you know good people that want to have a good job, Dodd Foods is a good company. I'm biased, but it's a family business, but it's run like a business. But it's also run like a family business, if that makes sense. So I went to work for Dodd back in December of '88. We're about $120 million in sales. We're about $8 billion now. And we've been able to do that by taking care of our customers. That's why drivers are so important. Any questions at all? Our facility in Cambridge City, we have roughly about 230 employees. We're very happy. We employ a lot of people from Connersville right now. Very happy with the work ethic from folks from Connersville. But it can't just be from Connersville. There's other areas that could come in and get the training right here. And we're very excited about it. We're meeting with Ivy Tech again tomorrow. We're going to have a digital marketing type of campaign. We're going to get out to everybody. We're going to have a recruiting fair April the 6th at their facility here in Connersville, so they can come in. We'll talk to them. We'll set them up and share with them how it all works. They can call our facilities. We'd be happy to talk to them. Any questions at all?
Yeah, are your drivers over the road, or do they just like a daily run?
It's a great question. Our drivers, what we call regional over the road. So our traditional job, the driver will leave out on Sunday. He'll get in on Tuesday at say at noon. He'll leave out again Wednesday, say afternoon, get back usually Friday afternoon. Then he goes back out again on Sunday. That's our traditional job. The other jobs, it varies. If they work 4 days on, 4 days off, so they work 4 days, then they're off for 4 days, and it's just a rotating schedule. And same with 6 on, 3 off. So they work 6 days and they have 3 days off. So it gives them a little bit of home time, family time, but also allows them to make, pretty good living, and actually standard of living that might be above where they're at now, and hopefully help. Obviously, they pay taxes and hopefully buy products in the community and those things as well. Good question.
I remember, Randy, when we was talking a couple of weeks ago, you told me then you would hire 20 drivers that day if you could find them, and I don't think the word has really been out.
We would.
That you needed that many drivers.
It's truly an industry that there's greater demand than there is supply, and that's in all companies. It's truly an industry, if somebody wants to go into, they can really kind of establish themselves. Even if they don't work for Dot Foods, if they go to Ivy Tech and get their CDL, they are going to be able to find a job, and a good paying job. But you're right, and last year as a company, we added 150 net drivers to our team. We want to add about 100 to 150 as a company. We have about 1,500 drivers that work for us nationwide. But you're right, we would hire another 20. The reason is we have carriers pick up some of our freight, and basically we can pick up some of that stuff on our own trucks and trailers.
Now, is that Class A or Class B too? Or?
It's Class A CDL with hazmat endorsement. Yep. Ivy Tech does a really good job. We've had one of our warehouse employees just went through. We've had 2 or 3 folks have gone through their class. We just want people to know they're there. And if it's somebody who really wants to make it and help provide, or even provide for themselves, it's a way to really kind of establish a good livelihood. And we're regional over the road, so we handle about 4.5 states here in the Midwest. We may go to our distribution centers to Illinois and back. We may go to Syracuse, New York, not New York City. We may go to Maryland. We also go down to Georgia. But we basically go to our DCs and back, and we also go to our customers, which is about a 4-state area. But going out for a month at a time and coming back, that's not our job. Our job is really, you get kind of a mixture of both, but you will be out. We have all new equipment. I think you've seen our trucks going up and down the road. All automatic transmissions, believe it or not. We've been that way probably for the last 15 years.
Now, is Ivy Tech a licensing site as well?
Yes.
Or is it just training?
It's a good question. It's training, and then they go and get their license. But they train them how to pass their test. We just had an individual who's a manager trainee for us. He's a Purdue graduate. We put him through the school, and he passed the test on his first try.
But they can take their driving test there as well, or
I
do they
believe
still
they
have to
can.
go to the Indy?
I believe so.
For the state police, there's only 4 locations in the state for the state police testing. That's not at Ivy Tech.
Okay, we haven't got that yet.
Correct.
Okay.
But it's very easy, and they train you really to pass the test. That's what most driving schools do. We really train them for another 10 to 12 weeks so that when that person is really out on their own, they're going to be safe. And I think it's a tribute to, everybody else going up and down the road. So we really want to polish them up. Plus, a lot of times they have to be taught on how to handle our onboard computers and how to deliver to our customers. It's a good company. I'm biased because I've been there 30 years and I run the place, but truly an open door. One of the things that we did about actually in the last 8 months, we track turnover. And turnover in the driver industry is pretty high. Turnover for us was higher than we wanted because we're hiring a lot of people that have not driven before, and then we're giving them a CDL, then they go out and drive. Some of those people decide, hey, you know what, I want to be home every night. That happens. We made some changes last year, about 8 months ago, to give better schedules. So the 4 on, 4 off, the 6 on, 3 off, we even have a few 5 on, 2 off, has allowed people to get really a balanced schedule so that it's really helped our turnover. Knock on wood, but our turnover rate in the last 8 months has been about 12%. Industry average is about 100. So we're real proud of that. We want to continue that, but we're just getting started. Thank you for your time today, and thank you, Gertrude, for introducing me. And we just want to know, you guys, that we're out there and we're going to be out. It's going to be one of my priorities, even as a GM, to be out here meeting everybody in Connersville to hopefully get the word out of what Ivy Tech can do and what we can do as far as helping some of your citizens.
Okay,
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
I got to tell you, it's my fault that Carol McQueen is not here. She asked to be on the March 5th agenda, and I accidentally put her on today.
Okay.
Sorry.
And I don't see Lisa here with the township issue. Did everyone get a copy of that letter from
Yes,
Lisa Simbeck?
I've been told that all that's been resolved.
All of it's been resolved? Okay, great. That's next month today then. Thank you. Dale?
What I'm needing is, I guess, I talked to Bill McDaniel the other day, and we was talking about the building permits, and he told me I should come and talk to you guys about getting a waiver for the EMS building up on Park Road for the work we're going to be doing up there.
The city's got so much money, I don't know if we should really do that or not. It's not gonna break them, is it? We've never turned another government entity down yet on that deal. I would move to waive the building permit fees for the ongoing work at the new EMS facility on Park Road.
I'll second it.
There's a motion made and seconded that we waive the fees for the EMS building permit. Is there any other questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Thank you.
Any other new business to come before us? One thing that I happen to think is not under new business, but old business, we discussed the option of going with the WEX fuel card program last meeting, and I have done a little bit of investigating, and I'm been playing phone tag with the representative from Harvest Land to finalize things with them. But the WEX program, it allows a 1.5% discount off of the pump price. That is a pre-negotiated discount. Has several stations that are available to be utilized. Harvest Land Co-op is not one of those. I've talked with representatives from Harvest Land, and we are currently not under any discount program. However, he felt that we could qualify. We just haven't got back to talking with each other on it. So I'm trying to work with him to see what type of a discount that they can offer us for the rest of our fuel usage. He did send me a rundown of gallon usage last year, and somewhere, I can't remember for the exact number, but it was somewhere in the 20+ thousand gallons that we utilized, excluding the highway department. So that's just our sheriff's department and our other vehicles usage in a year's time. So, and I'm hoping to be able to get back with him yet this week and try to establish what they can do to help us price-wise. The situation with Harvest Land, it is I believe it's called a fleet card, is what our cars have been issued. And there is other options besides just the Harvest Land Energy 24 stations that they can go to. However, they don't benefit, Harvest Land does not benefit any from us utilizing those other stations. So I kind of put it to him that, well, what's it worth to you for us to have our vehicles fill up at Energy 24 and Energy 24 only? And he said, well, let me look at that. So
on them fleet cards, you might check too, because some of them's got a limit where they only let you buy like $100 at a whack. And then they shut you off, and they'll shut you off for the whole day sometimes.
This does have those kind of options, but we set those.
Oh, you decide?
We can decide those options. That was one thing that I liked about it as well, that we could put caps on them if we saw the need for it. The record keeping system or the information sent back to us from WEX is very similar to what we're getting from Harvest Land. I mean, it breaks it down per card. Yeah, you have to go back and have a directory of, okay, this card number belongs to this car or this person or whatever. So you kind of have to, it's not easy to read, but it can be deciphered if you spend enough time with it. But my concern would be, okay, how can Harvest Land help us as far as pump price discounts versus what this could do?
I'd say continue one with them and see what happens.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, keep looking at that, and I've since found that Fayette County Senior Transport
Uses WEX.
is using WEX, and I haven't had an opportunity to talk with the transportation director over there to see how that has really worked for them.
And see how long that they've used it.
Right, yeah.
When you're talking to them.
I'll gather that information when I'm over there.
Okay, all right. Because I had found that out myself, that I don't know if it was you that told me or someone else told me that Senior Center or the Transportation Center had been.
I didn't know they was using it until someone told me, so.
It may have been the same person told both of us.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Anything else then?
I'll move to approve the claims and payroll.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded to pay claims and claims and payroll. Any other discussion or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
3 ayes. All right. Is this the signature resolution or do you?
Yes, that was the original.
We already got drainage board minutes in. got separated out, didn't I?
Yeah. Get you one of them.
Need a job.
You might want to make a career change.
Might need a job. This commissioner thing doesn't pan out.
I'll move to adjourn.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded for adjournment. All in favor?
Aye.
3 ayes. Motion, meeting adjourned.